Hi guys, welcome back to UNCUT BTS. I'm Kolby.
And I'm Andrew. Long time no see.
Long time, too long. We're so sorry. We've been so busy, but we haven't forgot about our UNCUT fam. So we just wanted to do a quick check-in and update on what's been going on. So,
Speaking
what's
of
been going
crazy,
on?
how's everything been? I mean, even like for Colby and I don't think I've seen Colby since it's been a month. Yeah, since Emery's first
Or
birthday.
yeah. And
Yeah,
even
so
that, it was like not
quick.
even, we
Yeah.
didn't get to hang out really.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like my life has been just like nonstop busy because in my mind, as soon as like my birthday happens, which is like the end of October, it's just like
Yeah.
nonstop. It's like my birthday kicks off the crazy season of holiday, Halloween, and Thanksgiving, holiday stuff. Both my girls' birthdays are in during the holiday season, and that's just like the family side. And then on the business side, it's just always nuts. Like that, at the end of the year, it's like for some reason it all gets pushed to the end of the year, and then everything is happening all at the same time. All the deadlines are like before the end of the year, and it's just nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, for sure. I mean, so yeah, same. I guess like September. I mean, I can't believe it's November already,
I know.
which is
It's like
crazy.
we're basically in December at this
Yeah,
point.
I like never write checks, but I was like writing a check the other day, and I was like, what's today's date? It was like 11/10 or something. I was like, holy moly, we're like
Mm-hmm.
deep already in the holiday season. But yeah, you're right. So Emery's birthday, September 15th. Megan's birthday, September 2. So it's like we celebrate her 1 year, her first birthday, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. That was nice. And then yeah, since then it's just been Halloween. We're prepping for, Thanksgiving, thinking about like our end of the year trip or like, Christmas and all that. It's crazy. And then yeah, like you said, that's just the family side.
Mm-hmm.
So the business side, as a business owner, creative, I mean, I think for a lot of industries, the holiday season is a huge time of the year for them, right? Whether it's like prepping for the sales or, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
the holiday
Yeah.
rush. So it's like they also want marketing and all that. So, and then they also have like budget that they need to spend. So it all kind of
Mm-hmm.
comes at the end of the year. And so it's just figuring out how to juggle all that.
It's
What,
crazy. I
what are,
I feel like I feel like I don't usually have anxiety, but
yeah,
this time of the year I'm like super anxious. I'm just like there's so much to do. The days are flying by. There's not enough time to do all the things. And it's hard to balance. It's hard to balance as a business owner, as like a parent, wife. Like I don't know how people do it. Honestly, I'm just like I look around and be like we're all just doing it somehow. Like I don't know how we're
yeah,
doing it, but we're just
it's,
doing it.
it kind of puts everything into perspective because it's like, you go out and you hang out or you see people on social media, you see people even out in person. It's like, yeah, like you're asking, how do you do it? And it's like, I think everyone's just kind of like going through their own challenges, but at the end of the day, they make it work and they figure out how to do it. So, like, I guess for you, like, what are some things that kind of help you stay in line with like your goals and your tasks that you have to accomplish?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not doing a great job. Like I feel like I'm like spending too long getting back to people on emails, and I feel like I'm missing stuff. Like I like to be very prepared. Like, okay, so and so's birthday is coming up. Like, I should pre-buy their birthday gift ahead of time and like make all these plans. And I feel like this season I'm like behind the eight ball. I'm like trying to catch up, trying to keep up, and I'm not doing a super good job. And when it comes to work, I'm just always apologizing. I'm like, I'm so sorry for the delay. Like, I'm so sorry. I meant to get back to you yesterday. Um, but I think the only way like to deal with those kinds of situations for me anyway is just to be honest and be like, I'm like, I effed up. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I was supposed to get back to you like a couple of days ago, and life has just been so crazy. And I think people I think everybody's going through that. Like everybody's having to meet their own deadlines. And so it's hard to like disappoint people. But I think for me, just being honest and being apologetic and trying better, I think people respect that. And then just like on a personal note, I've been trying to get back into like having a better routine, like having a better, like actually going to classes, like Pilates classes and stuff
Oh,
like that,
nice.
because
Yeah.
I would just work out on my own, like, but there's not that accountability, and that works for most of the time, I think. Like, I think normally I'm pretty good about that. Like, I can just like put it in my calendar, do a bike ride or something like that. But lately I've been like going to classes, and then I'll like ask, a girlfriend to join. And then once you tell them, okay, I'm going to Pilates tomorrow, like, do you want to come with me? Like, you cannot miss
Yeah. Now you
that.
have that
So
accountability partner. Yeah.
totally. So that's been helping. And then when you feel good, you just do better, I guess, or at least feel less anxious during this
Hmm.
time. For me anyway, I'm like, okay, breathe through it. Overall, like, if it doesn't happen, it'll be fine. Like, it'll all be fine. I don't know. I think we honestly just put more pressure on ourselves than other people expect from us.
Huh.
So it's like, if we can't make it to that birthday party or that birthday party, it's like, I don't think they're even thinking about it. I think we're the only ones thinking about
Stressing
it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. I totally align with that because, yeah, I mean, on the note of like just being honest and transparent, it's funny you say that because literally all of my emails are like, it starts with, hey, happy Monday or whatever. And it's like, I'm so sorry for the delay. It's been crazy. Every single email. So if you got that email from me, it's actually been crazy. Uh, and thank you for understanding. And, I think the biggest part is like, there was like a little time, I think we all go through this cycle of like, it's a good routine, good flow, and then like you get burnt out or like you feel anxiety or whatever it is, and then you kind of like fall a little bit back, but then you kind of work yourself back up. So I'm in that constant battle, and I
Mhm.
think a big thing that's been helping me is I've been saying a no a lot more, like you said. So it's like if someone invites me to something, I'm like, okay, can I go to that? Is it a good decision to do that? Um, that's been helping a lot. And then also committing to my time blocks. I think that's a big one. Um,
Mhm.
I've been just like blocking out time to just do certain things or like work on certain things, and that like preps my brain mentally when I look at my calendar. Like, okay, I have to go in and do redefined media work, or hey, I have to do redefined weddings today. Um, and so that's been kind of helping. So like I don't like get like too stressed. And then like this
Mhm.
is what I like to do. So I know people have like digital lists and whatnot, but I actually write things down, and it's something
Yeah.
like therapeutic about like crossing it off. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
I, I did that. I did that. I mean, like
Yeah.
checking it off with the computer feels all right, but like crossing it off and seeing it, it's like
Yeah.
so visually helpful.
It's so
Um,
satisfying to cross something out. Like,
it
yes,
is, it
I
is,
feel
and I think
productive
it just
today.
like gives you like that energy to do the next thing. Like, oh, I got two more things. Let's bang it out,
Yep.
And like you said, like I
Mhm.
think the health thing is a big one.
Mhm.
Um, it's crazy how it works, right? Like people think they don't have time for it, but then you feel crappier when you don't work out or anything like that. Versus like if you just make time for it and you do it, you feel so much better. For me, I jumped on my friend's Buddy Pass at 24 Hour Fitness, and then like he works out every. Shout out to Jeremy. He works out every day at 6 a.m. So
Oh,
for me, it's like, okay, I'll be there. I'll be there. And if I don't go, he like puts me on blast or like, like it just feels, I feel bad for not going.
yeah.
Uh,
I feel like different seasons too, right?
yeah.
Like, I'm looking at the calendar coming up, and I'm just like,
Stop.
I'm
I'm
gonna
like
be
looking at my
traveling
calendar.
so much. And I'm like, how am I can't keep going to classes while I'm traveling. So just really, it's just gonna have to be like, okay, well, I don't know, like, let's take a bike ride through the city or something, like,
Uh-huh.
I get into these routines, and I'm like, I have to
Same.
go to Pilates like every other day. And then something happens, and I just like fully fall off the bandwagon. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to be unhealthy through the end of the year.
Yeah, you kind of
But
give yourself a date, right? Like, yeah, I think, end of November. But then it's like the holidays and you're traveling so much. But then it's
I
also like,
know.
it's Q4. We got to finish strong. We got to finish strong. We have so many projects, so many deadlines. Let's finish strong. But at the same
I
time, I'm
know.
fighting that battle of like, you know what? I'm on. It's the holidays.
It's a constant battle for sure. And then you're thinking too, like, all right, what about Q1? Like, what do we have lined up for
Exactly.
Q1? And like, are we going to be okay? Because that's also a slower season too. It takes a while to get the
Yep.
train
Yep.
moving again once
It's
you
crazy.
are in holiday mode. And so if you don't have things lined up now, then it's even pushing the can further down the street into like Q2, and then you're stressing because you don't
And
have
then boom, you're
anything
in
going on.
Q4 2025.
Yeah.
And we're
Just,
talking again.
yeah. Well, but for Uncut, we are going to try to be more consistent. We're not, somebody was just like, I just had this conversation with somebody, like, just randomly, like, I met them and they're like talking about they follow Uncut, and they're like, you guys haven't had a new episode in a while though. And I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. Like, we need to be more consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of those things. I think going into 2025 Q1 our goal, I mean like working on it now, Q4, Q1 our goal is to yes, be more consistent. And like I think like there is some friction that's kind of like holding us back. I mean like not like metaphorically,
Yeah.
like things like we have to like find each time in each other's schedule, or like we have to find a place to shoot and set up each time. So if we can eliminate some of that where we can just show up, record, or like even the scheduling and all that, it's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It's gonna be a lot more streamlined. So we're working on that. Working on that. Would
Yeah, we
anyone
want it to
want
be like,
to
we want it
sponsor
to,
us?
I know, we want it to be a consistent thing, because every now and then we'll be like, oh, should we keep going? It's like so much work. And then we'll get, have a conversation with somebody who's been like following since the very beginning, which has been years already. And so I'm like, oh man, and we're so close to having 100 episodes. And I really wanted us to get to 100 episodes. So I'm like, you know what? We need to just keep this going. It really is just making the time, like anything else,
Mhm.
anything else in life. It's just, there's time for the things that you can prioritize, that you prioritize. We always use an excuse that we're so busy, but we are going to be better at making time. And we actually have some like fun ideas for the podcast for next year. So we're excited to talk more about that when the time comes. But
Yeah. We actually
yeah,
have an episode that we haven't even released yet, so that's
I
coming out
know.
soon.
Yeah,
I know.
we've
And
been sitting on it for
then
a couple months,
yeah, and
and
then
then yep.
we are trying to schedule with some guests to kind of end up the year and end the year strong and do that. So hopefully everything works out. We just locked in a date,
Yep.
and so now we'll kind of talk to some guests and whatnot and schedule that out. But yeah, stay tuned.
I know. I love the podcast, and I miss the podcast too. So we will be more consistent. So yeah, thanks for sticking with us. What is a thing that you would like to focus on, Andrew, through the end to end the year strong, like we were talking about?
This whole year for me has been a battle of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually just started this um, new thing this like, yesterday. And I want to be consistent with it. And so I just focusing back on, so consistency was my focus word this year. So just focusing on that for the rest of the year, whether it's just like, yes, waking up in the morning and being consistent on the gym, or being consistent on going to this class every week. Um, just committing to that for myself and my health. And I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
I feel good doing it, or I feel good afterwards. So I want to like stick to that feeling and like remind myself every time like I'm lazy.
It's easy to get lazy.
Yeah.
I know. Well, what's the class that you're taking?
Oh yeah, so I just started jujitsu with
Oh,
Jason
you
actually. Yeah, at Sojourn.
Oh, that's a
I
thing that
it's
everybody's doing nowadays.
it's crazy because like I've been wanting to do it for so long, and everyone's just trying to get me to do it. But like I think in my head, like you said, right? Like you never made time for it. In my head, I was like, oh, I'm too busy. But I think deep down, I was just scared to try something new, or like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, commit to
It
something
is
like that.
intimidating.
The thing I love about like Sojourn is like it's so welcoming, and everyone, it's a safe space, and it's really cool. Like my first class yesterday, Nye was with me, Lucky, Jasper, like a bunch of other people, and it was cool, just to kind of um, go through that like hour and a half together, because it's like so mentally and physically challenging. It's crazy because like in that moment when you're there, like all you're thinking about is like how to get through and not get tapped out. or like, trying to like learn these lessons and apply it right away.
Yeah.
I think about a million things all day, every day. Like right now, as I'm recording this, I'm thinking about like a million other things.
Yeah.
But like when you're there, like, yeah, you're forced to just think about like this one thing and
Yeah.
focus on it. So I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be like mentally good for me and physically. So I'm excited to keep it going.
Okay. So you have to commit to keep going to jujitsu.
Yeah,
I'll
once a week.
commit to keep going to classes.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
I
what
go
are you?
to I just I'm jumping on your bandwagon and I'm going to keep going to class. There's just one class, it's like a booty yoga class and it's like it's so when before going like my girlfriend dragged me to this and I was
Yeah,
like I am going to be so embarrassed. But when you have a whole room full of women, there's like shaking it and you're just like trying to survive. I'm just like, okay, breathe. Okay, breathe.
yeah,
Okay, breathe. I mean, there's just a no judgment zone and it's so empowering as like a woman and then you feel so good after. Like I never sweat so much in my life.
yeah,
Well, you'll be my
yeah.
accountability buddy. All of you guys, if you see me out, ask me how is booty yoga and how is jujitsu for Andrew.
Exactly. Okay, I love that. Yeah.
All right. So we will be back with a new episode dropping, let's say next week, early next week, and then a new round of episodes to end the year. And then we'll be in 2025.
I guess
We'll
lastly,
see.
to wrap up the episode, we are in November. Thanksgiving is soon.
Yeah.
What are you thankful for? What are you grateful for in this very moment?
In
Or in
this
this
very moment, I am
in this
thankful.
era of your life?
This morning I met up with my uncle,
Mm.
my dad's brother,
Yep.
and he gave me 3 of my grandma's Lauhala hats.
Oh wow.
And it's so special to me. And he asked me like a couple of weeks ago when I saw him, he says, I've been holding on to your grandma's hats. And she was this fabulous grandma that always looked so good. She always had a Lohala hat and she always had like it was like some kind of band on it and she took such good care of her hats and just herself like always presented like she always looked nice. And it's just part of her was like her hats. She
Yeah.
cherished them and then the fact that he's given them to me makes me feel like so special because now I get to take care of them and pass them down to my daughters. So I guess I'm just grateful for family and like traditions that we can pass down to our kids. And, even my dad teaching my daughter how to fish, throw
Yeah.
net,
Throw
and
net.
like,
That's amazing.
yeah, like things like that I never really thought too much about when I was younger. But now that my kids are growing up, I want them to have those meaningful traditions and those things that help them to know who they are and like where they come from and who they come from. And so, yeah, I'm just like, I think this year was a lot of that, like digging into family traditions and things I want to continue in my daughter's life. So thankful for family and traditions. Yeah.
Nice. It's a good one. I mean, I say that every year. So even like now, Megan and I ask each other like, what was the best thing that happened to you today? But we
Mm.
don't. We say we're not allowed to say family or Emery or like anything
Mm-hmm.
with that. So it has to be something different. For me, I guess like I'm really grateful for like the relationships and the network
Mm-hmm.
that I've built in my life because like just yesterday, right? Like just seeing like how everyone kind of came out to like my first class to kind of just
Mm-hmm.
like support or hang out and stuff. I was like, oh man, like they like Jasper and I like in different parts of my life
Mm-hmm.
they've like pushed me out of my comfort zone somehow, and like just
Mm-hmm.
like that, like thinking about that and like thinking about how I felt afterwards, like really like thinking about like all the relationships and the network that I built here and
Mm-hmm.
everyone that I'm so grateful to have in my life and just push me out of my comfort zone and be better. Like, like you're one of them. And what would I do without these people? Literally my career, like my family, all of that. Like, I don't know how that would have all worked. So super grateful. My
Yeah.
teams, multiple
Yeah.
teams, everyone that I work with, I'm super grateful. So Thank you
Oh,
for
that's
that.
awesome. And you're that to them too. And
Uh
that's
huh.
because, like, all those guys, it's like years of friendship, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like not just like a new friend and then you move on to another friend. Like, you collect these people and then keep them a part of your life. And that's a beautiful thing about getting older too. It's like
Yeah.
sharing your life with these people
Yeah.
that become like almost like a part of your family.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Like definitely in that era for sure, where it's like quality over quantity. Like yeah,
Yeah.
you can have the acquaintances, but like, who do you want to truly spend your time?
So grateful.
Mm-hmm. Grateful
Okay.
and stoked, my two favorite words.
Grateful and still your two favorite words
Uh,
for as long as I've known you.
forever, forever. I'm gonna get that tattooed somewhere in my body.
Oh my god.
But
Okay.
yes, thank you guys. Stay
Happy
tuned for
Thanksgiving.
yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Crazy.
Crazy.
Let's end quarter 4 strong, guys.
Yes, let's go. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye.